Right. So we're back again. First review of the season, and I was hoping for a more positive result. It is what it is. And tonight I'm joined by Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Oh, good, Ryan. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm not. I'm not one of the ones that have overreacted either. That have had a complete meltdown over one result and already judging the manager and the club and the players after one game. But apart from that, I'm okay. There's a few little niggles, but it was mostly positives. It wasn't like, yeah, we lost on Sunday, but it was like, oh, how can I put it? It wasn't like Wenger. It was under Wenger. Once we gone 1-0 down. It would have, at that time we did. It would have been a lot worse. Whereas with Emery, he was fixing things there and then, and the players' their heads didn't drop, and they were actually trying to make things work.
Well,
It just it was just a shame that it just came across that the majority of the players, and I say the majority of players, these are the ones that are from Wenger's era, didn't seem up for it on Sunday for the first half hour,
well,
in my opinion.
yeah. Well, you see, Ryan. Well, when I was looking at the thing yesterday, what the pundits were saying, say for example, what Gary Neville was saying, and what Gary Neville alluded to, in fact, is what I've been trying to say myself. Recruitment at this club over the past few years has been nowhere near good enough. With the players that Wenger has signed, it just shows you on Sunday that the players that Wenger signed were the ones that didn't perform as well as they should have. Xhaka was absolutely. I'm sorry to say this, right, and I'm probably, Xhaka was awful at times. Matteo Guendouzi played well, in my opinion. Lucas Torreira as well played well, in my opinion. I mean, what Emery's done, he's brought in experienced players, and this is the thing. We need experience in our defense, in our style of play, because we lack it. We need leadership. We need stars. Trust me, like Sunday's result, losing 2-0 at home to the champions. You got to remember Manchester City.
Exactly.
You got to remember that they still are a top team. They did beat Chelsea a few weeks ago 2-0 in the Community Shield. That people still forget about that. And it was always going to be a tough game. But most people are overreacting, this and the other. It just shows you that where things have gone wrong, and this is where Emery needs to put it right within the next few windows. He has to change things, and like I've said, it's the Wenger signings that let us down, and the signings that Unai made or the club made were the ones that actually did well. That in my opinion, Lichtsteiner played very well. Matteo Guendouzi played very well. Lucas Torreira again played well. Mustafi and Socrates, right? Even though we conceded 2 goals, in my opinion, they were a good defensive partnership. They looked well. Xhaka, on the other hand, I'm sorry, but you need to drop him against Chelsea. If you want to win, you need to drop Czech, and that's just being me being.
I've got to agree with you, Xhaka. He was. I thought when I saw him in the lineup, I thought, right, give him a chance. I understood why Torreira didn't start, because he'd not just come back. He only played one pre-season game, and obviously he didn't want to throw him in the bloody Lions' den, so to speak, against the best team in England, and risk it all falling apart with Torreira and his confidence getting knocked. So I understand that. It's just with Xhaka. Well, this is another thing that some people have noticed as well with Xhaka and Guendouzi. Guendouzi's what, 18, 19, and he's doing things and playing away to a level where Xhaka should be right now, and Xhaka's playing the opposite. It's like every time Xhaka got the ball, he wasn't looking forward. He's the sort of player he's meant to be. He should be looking up for the forward pass, attack. He wasn't doing that. It was Guendouzi doing all that, getting stuck in. Even when he didn't have the ball, he was the one getting stuck in. Xhaka was like just there, and when he did get the ball, he'd literally get the ball, turn round, back towards his defenders, and pass it back to them. He was never like the positive push forward, and it frustrated the hell out of me. And even Bellingham too. Like, this is what I got to get up, because I was up in block 4 in the first half, so I was on the side where Bellingham was defending the first half, And that goal that we conceded in the first half could have been avoided if him and Mustafi, I think it was Mustafi next to him, had closed down Sterling quicker and actually made a tackle. Because that's all they're doing. Literally, they'll track back and they're just like ball watch and let them come so close. And hence, when the goal happened, it happened because they weren't brave enough to put the tackle in. Whereas later on in that first half, I think it was Sterling threw on goal, and Socrates realised he won't outpace the guy, so he took one for the team and made the tackle on the edge of the box and took a booking. When was the last time we had a defender that read the game and could do that?
Long time ago. A long time ago when we had Adams and we had Bold, you had Campbell, Toure, we had players like that. And that's the thing, with us over the past few years, with Wenger, it's all fallen off. It's all fallen off, and that's what was evident on Sunday, was that as well as like the loss as well. It just showed as well that Wenger should have gone years ago, because the players that were starting were most of his signings. The players that he signed, fair enough. Lacazette, Aubameyang, they're the two I really like them two. But like I said, with Cech as well, like what was he doing? Where was he passing it to?
He's another one that's got to be dropped on Saturday, I think.
Yeah, he has to be dropped. I'm sorry, but like this is the thing.
If Emery wants to play this playing from the back with the goalkeeper ball to feet, he's got to play Leno.
He's got to play Leno. Is perfect for it. Leno is absolutely perfect for it. Leno will pick out good passes, all this and all that. And I think definitely Lucas Torreira should start against Chelsea on.
Definitely.
He has to start, and Guendouzi as well. I throw Aaron Ramsey. Yep. Like I said, my starting lineup for Chelsea away was like, I've put it out on Twitter already, and quite a few people have said, you know what, fair enough, that's a good starting lineup. I've gone with Leno in goal, Bellerin at right back, Mustafi, Socrates in defence, put the centre back partnership. Put Lichtsteiner as left back, even though he's not one, but he did play. He looks like he can play well there as well. I've gone with three in mid with Torreira, Ramsey, and Guendouzi. Özil playing as the attacking midfielder, and you got Aubameyang and Lacazette up top. So that's my team. I know, we might lack a winger or whatever. We've got to remember that it is Chelsea at home, and we've got to play. We've got to play defensive sometimes. We've got to play, our best game, because the way Chelsea played against Huddersfield on Saturday, they tore them 3-0, and that could be us on Saturday if we don't play well. And that's the thing, this season is going to be a roller coaster ride. So buckle your seatbelts up, because it's about to change.
As you've pointed out, Lichtsteiner on Sunday when he came on, he played left back, and for someone who's played right, who is he's not a left back, I think he did a pretty good job, considering who he was up against for the majority of the match. When he came on, didn't look out of his depth at all, which you expect from someone of his ilk. And when we signed him, you've got the fan base and the media selects what are Arsenal doing. He's too old. It's like, well, what do you want us to do? We can't win. We need leaders. We need experience. You go and get it, and then you complain about it. So what do we do then? We just stay still and get worse and worse and worse then.
Yeah, I think personally as well, we kind of needed another towering centre midfielder. Even though we've got Torreira, we've got Guendouzi, we've got Ramsey playing centre mid, whatever. I personally thought we should have gone out and got Steven Nzonzi. He might be 29, 30, but listen, at the end of the day, the image that everyone gets is that he's the Stoke Nzonzi. The Nzonzi I have in my eyes is the one that went to Sevilla and won the Europa League in his first season there. And not just that, this Nzonzi as well revitalized himself. He's tall, he's powering. He's a man that could have done a job on Sunday. I reckon within the last few years, to win the Premier League, it's always been about having a top DM. 2014 was all about Nemanja Matic. 15-16 was about N'Golo Kante. 16-17 about N'Golo Kante. Last season was about Fernandinho. So that's the thing. We need to kind of fix up on that front as well. And defensively, like I said, when Emery's given every single player a clean slate, prove their worth at the club. Because I tell you something now, right? Next season, next summer, you will see a lot of players either gone and a lot of players come in, because this is the thing. Emery's going to be a no-nonsense manager. He will bring in the players he wants, bring in the players that will improve the club, and get rid of the players that he doesn't think it enough anymore. And I personally think should Xhaka not prove his worth this season, he'll probably be gone next year.
Yeah, I think he'll be. As you said, even though he's been named as one of Emery's backup vice captains as it stands, as you said, if he doesn't prove himself this year, Emery is a no-nonsense manager. He'll say, "Well, I can find someone better than you, with the leadership qualities that can do a better job than you. You need to go." And then he'll go to Spain and Raul and go, "This is who I want. Go and get him." And they'll get him.
Yeah, they would.
But because obviously I was there, and what frustrated me more is half time, well, not in the half time, before half time, you got fans saying, as soon as it went 1-0, like, "Oh, here we go again, same old Arsenal, new season, same crap." It's like literally walking out the stadium. And I'm like, seriously, it was like, from what the impression I was getting, it's like they're expecting Unai to come in, just assess things, click his fingers, and everything to be okay. All the defensive issues we've ever had under Wenger in the last 10 years to be fixed, just like that in a space of how many? Since pre-season started in June, and literally just be complete world beaters and literally come up against City on Sunday and actually wipe the Premier League champions, the team that got 100 points last season, off the floor. That was never going to happen ever. The most we could have hoped for was a point. That was my mindset going into it. Was best I could hope for was that I would take going in would be a point, because they are the Premier League champions for a reason. They are not going to make it easy. It was the best time for us to play them, because it's like, as you said, it's the first game. I'd rather play them then than later on in the season when they've got the momentum behind them, because it might have been a lot worse. But it's like the fans just didn't realise. It's like you realise we are playing the Premier League. It's not like we're playing, for example, one of the new promoted teams, either at Huddersfield or Wolves, Fulham, or Cardiff at home on the first day. This is Man City we're playing. And it was just the overreaction. And when I got home and I've seen the reaction from our fan base and then the media side of things as well, it's like, come on. I'm watching the match today again on Sunday night as well. And even the second the guy, he's only played one game and they're already like, "Oh, it's the same old, same old." It was driving my nutting. It's like, as I said, it's like they just wanted him to come in, click his fingers, and everything to be okay. And then Tony Adams has come out and said what he said, and it's just like, again, when he's saying it, it's literally what's he been doing? He's literally been in a job officially since June 1st. We're now in August. August 14th. It's got just over a month and a half, and you're expecting him that month and a half, 2 months, and it's like they're expecting him just to fix everything just like that. When Pep came in, did he not have issues in his first season with the squad he inherited from Pellegrini? Yeah, he spent that season assessing what he had, and when he realised throughout the season what wasn't working, he's then already paying for the following season. Who to get in, who to get out, and how he's going to go about it, this, that, and the other. He was already planning for his second season, and as we all know, they reaped the benefits last season. They absolutely walked it.
Yeah.
But with Emery, oh no, everyone's like on his back straight away. They're not giving them the actual proper chance like they've done with Pep. It's like you can't treat one way and one the other. And I'm not saying that Colin from Much Arsenal on the tweet earlier. It just seems that it's fashionable at the moment when things don't go right for Arsenal, just to bash us over the head constantly. That's like bash the Arsenal beating drum.
Yeah, very much. Like you know, I agree. You know, some of the fans are a bit very
alert from Dropbox.
On my Dropbox, yeah. You know, so some of the fans, you know, are getting carried over the way. You know, what's he doing? This, that, and the other. And then you got Tony Adams, you know, saying what he said. I think, you know what it is, like, bear in mind, people are forgetting that we had a World Cup a few weeks ago.
A
lot of players did come back from the World Cup and they're tired. They want to rest up. Not everybody's fit because the World Cup, you know, as well as the World Cup thing. One thing that, you know, shouldn't have happened now, it should happen a lot later, was the transfer window should have shut at the end of this month. Mainly because of the fact that, oh wait, there's a World Cup ongoing, so if people want to buy players, it's going to be a lot harder for them to do it. If anything, next season would be the best time to shut the transfer window before the season starts. I think that's where the mistake lies. And not just that, Emery's only had 5 or 6 weeks to prepare for this season. 5 or 6 weeks
exactly.
Is not long enough. It's not long enough. It's not long enough to trial and test players either. Because, example, when you look at Conte when he won in his first season, the transfer window shut all the way to August, and he was still out buying players when they would in the preseason games and all this and all that, and he won the title in his first season. So with what happens this season, you know, sometimes it's overreaction. People overreact too quickly. They expect a miracle to happen straight away. You got to remember that we're playing like after Man City and Chelsea, after these 2 games. You know, best time to play them, because then even if we get 0 points, then we don't have to worry about them later on in the season. If we want to get top 4 or we want to challenge for the title, we won't have to worry about it as much then. But now we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused on the next game and try and do as good as we can, because at the end of the day, this is the first season for Unai. It will be a tough season for him and a tough season for us fans, because it is transition. And the one thing that every fan wants, including me, is whether it's through the league or win the Europa League, we want Champions League qualification. We want to be back in the big time with the big boys. And I think that if Unai can get us into the Champions League, regardless, even if he wins the Europa League, I'll be the happiest guy ever, because at the end of the day, not only has he won a trophy for us in his first season, but as well, he's got us into Champions League qualification, where we want to be. And this is the thing, sometimes our fan base expects too much from in such little time, you know. This is the thing, that Wenger, like I said, should have left years ago. If Wenger left 4 years ago, maybe, or even if he left in 2017, we wouldn't be in the current state and mess we are in now. We wouldn't be in this mess now, and we wouldn't be in a status now where, you know, it's going to take long and it's going to take time and it's going to take, you know, patience for us. Like, I'll understand that it will take time. It will take time, because this squad simply isn't good enough. If the squad can't just about can finish 6th in the league last season, what else do you think what else do you think they can do? What else do you think they can do? Nothing more.
Exactly. And also with it, as you said about the Europa League, if he not only it also gets us Champions League football, and it'll be his first trophy and all that. It'll be our first European trophy in, as I think James said, 25 years. First European trophy you'll ever witness. First one I'll actually probably remember.
Yeah.
Something Wenger didn't achieve in 22 years. He got us to 2 European finals and lost both to Galatasaray and Barcelona, respectively.
Yeah, and
this guy's got a proven pedigree in the European competition. No manager has achieved 3 European titles back to back. What, Europa League level?
He won it 3 times in a row: 2014, 15, and 16.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, you've got to also remember, he's earned his way to where he is now, because he did what he did at Sevilla. He's then gone from that. He earned his job at PSG because he sort of had that reputation of, because he won the 3 European titles back to back at the time.
Yeah.
It was just, as everyone's pointed out, PSG, it wasn't him buying the players or picking the squad. It was literally him turning up, training the players.
Yeah.
And it was like, the likes of Neymar had no respect for him because they thought they were the biggest thing since sliced bread. Whereas here, it's completely different. He will have full control. The players will respect him. When was the last time you've seen players in the training session full happy to be there, not shoulders down, gloomy, miserable? They're actually happy to be there.
Yeah.
And what's it on? Something. This is something that's never done. On Saturday night, he got the entire squad that he had, and had them training at the stadium on Saturday night, doing the last the day before doing their training there.
Yeah.
It's just like you got. It's just fainting seeing, and then hearing our certain fans and the fan base just complaining straight from me off. It's like, can you just breathe, take a step back. As we've had 22 years of one manager. Look at Man United. What was it, 26, 27 years of Sir Alex Ferguson, and the transition they've had to go through because of the mess up they made initially replacing him, and then replacing that person to get to where they are now. And they're only just now in the last year or so starting to get back to being somewhat competitive, not even fully competitive, but somewhat competitive.
That's the thing, because with us, we kind of have a new model, the way we do things. We've got a new model, and the way that the board is, I don't care about Ivan Gazidis anymore, because apparently he's off to AC Milan, and if he's off to AC Milan, then so be it. Go. No one cares, because at the end of the day, we're bigger than one person. We're a football club at the end of the day. No person is bigger than the club, and this is where I'll go into what you've said about managerial wise. We've brought in Sven Mislintat and Raul Sanllehi for recruitment reasons as well. Sven Mislintat will go and scout the players. If Emre says, I want a decent winger, I want a good, defensive midfielder. Example with Lucas Torreira, he was like, I want a decent defensive midfielder. Sven Mislintat went out there, went and scouted Lucas Torreira or something and brought him in. And I think that could be a very good signing for us. Not just that, if we went out looking for a winger, Mislintat goes out and let's see what wingers I can get in, what wingers are out there for me to sign. At the end of the day, this season's all about trial and test. See what he can do in his first season, see what he can get out of it with the players, see how far he can go, see how well he can do, and then the next season is all about building on. Like I said, it goes back to my point where we're gonna need at least 3 or 4 good transfer windows just to be back competing back in the title. Because back in the days, I think our biggest problem, this is in my personal opinion, was the fact that we moved to the Emirates from Highbury. We should have stayed at Highbury. We should have not left Highbury. And this is the thing, because we had the Emirates, that put us in debt for so many different years, and we had to face the mediocrity. We had to go 9 years without a trophy. We had to, Champions League football every year. We had to sell off our best players every single season just so we could, have enough money. And now, what's going on now? Like literally, I can't see. I literally, this 80 million or 50 million budget you was talking about is absolutely rubbish, because there's no way that can really happen to a club like us. And plus, with Arsenal now as well, we've got a lot of sponsorship deals coming in, with Adidas coming in next season. It will apparently be announced in October that Adidas and Arsenal is supposed to be a deal come 2019.
Kit manufacturer,
new kit manufacturer, and they're going to be paying 60 million plus incentives. So it'll be 60 million a year, but if they qualify for the Champions League, it puts an extra 10 million pounds on them, so it'll be 70 million next season, something like that. I don't know that well, but one thing I will say that we'll get a lot of money through sponsorships. We'll get thing, and through Premier League revenue, TV revenue. There is no way now we can't compete. There is no way we can't compete. We have to go out there next 3-4 windows and splash money on players that will improve us significantly. Because for me, it's a lot of players that we have now, they're nowhere near as good enough. They're nowhere near as good enough as they should be. And when you look at the squad years ago that we had, talking about the team of 98, the team of 2002, the team that the Invincibles, you look at them teams and you compare it to now, and you think to yourself, that team back then had were a lot different to the team we have now. And that team had a spine, it had character, it had leadership. This is so many different things that we lack, and this is what Emery's trying to get in. And this is the thing, people are so impatient that they need to give him time. I've said it before, I'll give Unai 3 seasons, 3 years to prove to me that he's good enough to be our boss. And if he can't, do anything good, then I'm sorry, I'll have to be Unai, I'll have to be Emery out. And at the end of the day, I won't be Emery out yet. At the end of the day, like I said, I'll give him an opportunity, see what he's made of, see what he can do. Because at the end of the day, what Arsenal were looking for as a successor to Wenger, he ticked every single box. So as he was ticking every single box, you think to yourself, okay, he's ticked every single box. What can he do? Can he prove his worth? We'll have to see. We'll have to find out.
Exactly. It's not. Of course, going back to my thing, it's I don't know if you noticed, but they're expanding the club level. They're expanding that. They've done half this summer. They're doing the other half next close season.
Yeah.
So there's even more money going into there. So and also I want to get on, because a couple of weeks at the Man City Chelsea Community Shield, Emery was there. When was the last time we saw Arsene Wenger go to an actual match to assess his next opponent?
Never. I've never seen it.
Exactly.
I've never seen it in my entire life.
I'm with you. You've got to give him at least three seasons because of the mess he's walking into and having to deal with. He's got to have that time to fix them issues. He ain't going to do that just like that. Not even in one track. He could have spent the sort of money West Ham have spent, and it still would have on more players, and it still wouldn't have fixed what he's walked in with.
Yeah.
It's like, go on.
Yeah, like with West Ham, for example, they've spent a lot of money, and this is the thing, that this is what people want us to do, and this is why we don't do it sometimes, is the fact that so many clubs spend a lot of money on players, a lot of money just buying anybody and anything that they see, and they still flop. And this is what we don't want to happen at our club, is that we go out there, we buy so many players and they flop. This is what we don't want. And at the end of the day, every single fan wants, what I want as well, is to see us win the Premier League title, is to see us challenge for it. This is the one thing that we haven't been doing for years, is challenging for the title. I hope under Unai we challenge for it, and hopefully we do win it within his reign. If not, if he does win us the Europa League and does what the back-to-back Europa League thing that he did with Sevilla within the first few seasons, I'll be like, I want him to stay on for longer.
Yeah. So yeah, if he wins Europa League this season, or wins Europa League and gets us in top 4 at the same time this season, that's a major improvement of what we've had for the last 2 years for a start. And then the next season you can build on that, because you have the funding because of being in the Champions League to then go and build the squad he wants to get them competing in the domestic league, and also have some sort of challenge in that first season back in the Champions League, so they don't flop straight away like United did when they first got back under Van Gaal, went straight out.
Yeah.
But it's all about giving the guy time. You just can't expect him just to walk in and go, "Oh, hi, done. It's all fixed now. Now we can compete." That's never going to happen. It didn't happen at Man City when Pep came in. What's it going to happen at Arsenal?
Oh yeah, because you got to remember that with the board of Man City, for example, they care. They want to win the title. They want the managers to win. They want to compete the big boys every year. And here we have the laziest CEO board ever. Stan Kroenke, right? Does not care. There's apparently news going around apparently that the AST are gonna reject Stan Kroenke's offer, and I hope they do, because at the end of the day, he is not suitable. He's not suitable. Just like the Fenway Sports Group for Liverpool. They're just as similar as the Arsenal board. They're very stubborn. They don't really care as much about the fans as they should do. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, you want your board to care about your fans, care about the fans, put the fans first, because at the end of the day, we're paying one of the highest season price tickets in Europe to go watch mediocre football. A season ticket at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus, if you look at it pounds wise, is half of how much. Yeah, it's half or like a tenth of how much an Arsenal fan pays for a season ticket, and it's embarrassing that they're going out winning trophies. They're competing for Champions Leagues. We're competing for sixth. What does that tell you? It tells you we're simply not good enough as a team. We're not good enough. We're not good enough, and the board needs to do something about it. They need to show some bottle and do things. And finally, for the first time in ages, they went out and they got a new manager in, and it really frustrates me about the board. They don't care about the fans. This is where they knew they had to make a change last season, was when fans stopped turning up to games. When fans stopped turning up to games, that's what hit them in the back pocket. That's when they get the money off through the fans. Fans stopped buying some of the merchandises. Fans stopped, you know, going to the games. There was loads of empty seats in the whole games, and literally the lie to you about the attendance. In reality, it was the fact that they couldn't take it no more. They were like, you know what? Let him have his way. You know what? If when fans stopped attending games, that's when they'll realize, oh, what is going on, and change needs to be made. And eventually, a change was made. You know that now the board need to show. Now this is about the board. Now they've made the decision to bring in Unai. It's all about them. Can they back up? Can they back Emery, and can they back up what they say? Are they going to? Because now the board's going to be under fire. If anything messes up within the next 2 to 3 seasons, where, you know, the fans are, you know, arguing and having a divide again and again and again, then that is going to be the biggest downfall. That's when everyone will come after the board and point the finger at the board, because before they used to hide behind Wenger, now they got no one to hide behind, because I'm sure nobody would go after Emery. Even I wouldn't go after him, considering he's won 3 back-to-back Europa League titles, and he's won the league title in France and the French Cup too.
And he's walked into an inherited mess that Wenger's left behind.
Yeah.
So anyone that gets on his back are absolute idiots, in my opinion. And they need their brain testing. About going back to the Supporters Trust, from what I've heard as well, they're basically trying to appeal it in the legal courts, to the point, trying to push it to the point where even if they feel like they're going to lose it, hold out until the next AGM and have him turn up and have it out with him there and then.
Yeah. Which
is fair enough, because they need answers. You can't just go to these fans that have bought shares, inherited shares from their family throughout the years, and just go, well, I want it. Give it to them without any explanation. Because also, you notice every time he buys shares or something or when Usman put that bid in back in May a couple of years back, they said his company puts out a statement. And Gazida said put that statement as well. Oh, we want to be competing for Premier League. We want to be competing for Champions League. Well, prove it then. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, they said we would was it be where Bayern Munich competing with the likes of Bayern Munich?
By 2015, we're in 2018, got halfway through 2018, and we're nowhere near. We're nowhere near our own league. Crying out loud.
No, Ivan Gazidis said that in 2012. He said it in 2012 when we competed with Bayern Munich and all that, and we're in 2018 and we still can't compete with them.
No, we're currently, last season, we competed with Burnley for 6th.
Yeah. Yeah, for 6th.
Burnley, the team that was in the Championship 2 seasons prior. And then going back even further, 2016, 2 seasons before that, Leicester City were a Championship club. And they've been 2 seasons, they've been back in the Premier League. They won their first ever league title 10 points clear of us in the end. Like,
Yeah.
and they haven't got. They didn't have a squad of, no offence at the time, world beaters. They brought players that weren't known and they overperformed. And certain players like Mahrez now and Kante at the time have gone on to achieve bigger and better, move on to bigger things.
Yeah. Yeah. It just tells you that, you know, recruitment again, you know, recruitment's not been good at the club.
Well,
and the AST,
yeah.
the Arsenal supporters,
Even
hopefully that they do what they need to do, because I don't think Kroenke is the right person to look after our club.
No.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I've heard, I just heard that isn't confirmed either way or the other. For anyone that even sees this and puts in the comments, what's your source? I've got no. You just hear these things. Basically, the reason why he Stan went to the bank for a loan to buy his shares and not put his own money in is because apparently when he does eventually get the full 100% of the club, he's going to pass it straight away, give it on to Josh, because Josh wants it to prove to his dad he is worthy. Basically, he can. It's sort of his baby. His sort of baby, if you will, sort of make it his own, put his own stamp on things, so he can then take over the other franchises when his dad does fourth to perch, so to speak, and then turn them into competitive teams over in the NFL. But also Josh Kroenke is nothing like his dad. He's the complete opposite to his dad. He has got that mentality of the winning mentality. It's no coincidence that within a few weeks of him going back to the States to talk to his dad and give him an update, Wenger left within a few weeks.
Yeah.
But hey, but just have to wait and see, because it's going to happen. Fair play to AST for doing what they're doing, but it's just Delaney in it, because the thing is different. Since he's got money, he'll do backhanders if he has to, just to get what he wants. Unless there's something illegal for what he's doing, he'll get what he wants. This is a guy who's only been a majority shareholder. This is a guy that takes money out of our club, and when asked why and what for, his attitude is, I don't have to answer to you. It's like, and that's why we are worried if it is him that he's going to buy and just sit down, he's at the top of the table and basically not give it to his son. We are screwed, because he's back anyway. He just wants to use us as his money gold pot to help. He's a franchise over in the States.
Yeah.
And in the long run, that will ruin it.
That will ruin us, and this is the thing. This is where, you know, again, you know, we don't want this to happen, because it already happened last season. No. Where, you know, fans will stop turning up to the games, want the owners out. I mean, I personally want him out. I personally want Stan Kroenke out. I would love it if we get someone. Yeah.
Well, this is another thing about our fan base. They're very how can I put it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the word? Selective memory. When it comes, because when it's all broke about Stan Kroenke a couple of weeks back, they'll hope David Dean's so happy with himself he introduced Stan Kroenke to the club. David Dean also introduced Usmanov to the club.
Yeah.
So you can't have it both. You can't praise Usmanov and praise and prefer him and praise him.
Yeah.
When the same person introduced them both to the club, you've also then got to go after the previous board beforehand, who initially, when David Dean introduced these two men to the club, they went to David Dean, no, we don't want them in our club at all, and then in turn kicked David Dean out of the club in whatever way they did. It was disgusting how they did it anyway.
Yeah.
It was on the night after we played Man City in 2007 at home. We beat them 3-1, and literally within a few hours it broke that he'd left the club. and obviously we all know why now. But and then since then, within a few months, there's the ones that are all them board members that are all against it are then selling their shares to both of them.
Yeah.
Also to Stan, within over the space of a few years, and now to the point that it's just down to, and yet one, and because I don't get on, but one of the majority isolates the other one to the point he's tried buying the Stan shares, didn't go to plan. He's now got to a point he's given up. He wants to move on to another project, and we all know where he's going to go.
Everton.
Yeah, and he's going to link up, and he's going to link up with the guy at Everton who was part of who was actually at the Arsenal board in the first place. So he bought Everton himself, and look at the money he's spending. So you put his money, Nusan's money together, they will be even further behind. If Stan is the one that is going to just take over and sit at the top of the table and do nothing.
What I will say, Ryan, is that, like I said, now that Usman has gone to Everton, one way or another, it'll probably be confirmed soon. That expect this, right? Expect Everton to probably win the title before Arsenal win it again.
Oh yeah. If when it is confirmed, I say between now and December it'll be confirmed. When that does happen, I give them 3 seasons. They'll be competing, at least
competing for the league.
Yeah, and we'll be way things are going. If Stan doesn't in that time period back Emery, we'll be even further behind.
Yep.
Than what we are now. We'll be team battling for 8th to mid-table if we're lucky.
Yep.
Which ain't. It's not overreacting because of it's overreaction. It's not even overreaction because it is a reality of it. This could happen. Understand?
Yep. Understand.
If he doesn't, because everyone's like, oh, but he's spending money building a new Van stadium. Yeah. I'm going to ask people this: where do you think that money's coming from? Because it's not from his pocket.
It's coming from.
There's a reason. Yeah. I said when Usmanov put that bid in a couple of years back to buy his shares. I said he wouldn't. Sam wouldn't sell at all because this is his big money pot. We are a London team in the Premier League, the best in the best league in the world. Why do you want to sell?
Silly. It's absolutely silly.
Because there's a reason why he's rich. It isn't because he spends his own money. Never invests. He'll use it to get what he wants in shares wise or whatever, and then after that he will never invest. He hasn't invested a single penny properly. I think I said last year he's never really invested any money apart from the wages side of things. When it comes to actual putting, if you believe what Wenger says, where Wenger came out and said last year, I've got to sell to buy. It sort of makes sense because obviously we all know when we thought we'd lose Sanchez to Man City for 50 mil, we suddenly put a bid in for 90 mil for Lamar. So 50 mil that would have been from Sanchez, and there was money still coming from other sales that he'd made last year. So that sort of does make sense what Wenger said there, but it's frustrating. Because I did say when Wenger did announce when he announced he was leaving, I said this summer we'd finally get answers who was telling the truth, who was lying. It's so far it's sort of 50-50 between the two. But Wenger he says some true things, but at the same time he has lied to us. It's like with Adebayor back in about 2008, 2009 when he sold it to Man City. He made out to us and it was all pumped through by the club as well. Adebayor wanted to leave he wanted to go to Man City for the money. He wanted the bigger money. And Adebayor then in recent year or two, last year or two, Adebayor's come out and said, no, that wasn't the case at all. I wanted to stay. I was told you either go or I'll put you in reserves. And as a professional player and where he was at the time, what was he to do? because at the time he was at peak. He was at the peak of his powers at the time. He was literally put in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
And what Van Persie said in his statement as well, when he said he wasn't signing a new contract, the ambition of where he wanted us to go to where Wenger wanted to go didn't match. It all rings true. It all sort of goes round back to Stan. The second Stan came a joint shareholder in 2009. This has been coming.
Yes, because
we've been flirting with falling out of top four for years and years and years. We've always just about held on for fourth or third.
Yeah.
And then eventually it caught up with us. Our luck ran out, and now we are in this situation where we're now just we're happy to get back into top four for now and rebuild again.
Yep. Vincent Kennedy McMahon of the WWE warned everyone about Stan Kroenke and how bad he was going.
Yeah, I saw that the other day as well. He should be invested because he's not a businessman.
Yeah, he said that he's not a good businessman. And he warned us about him years ago.
Cool.
And now look us now. Potentially, it could mess up our club, everything that we do.
Because he's a fraud and all this, because basically he'd organised. What event was it he organised? It clashed with one of his sport franchises that weekend. And basically, how can you not believe that your own franchise wouldn't make the playoffs, and at the same and not believe in them to the point you're organising other events around them? When it comes down to it, then you screw yourself over.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I can't
Look at
I just don't believe. Yeah.
And going back to the Rams situation as well. He moved that franchise. They were initially when he took over, they were in St. Louis, and because the fans of St. Louis wasn't happy and didn't like his regime, he just went "fuck you," basically. Took the franchise and he's moving to LA.
Yeah.
And even then, in recent years, excuse me,
Pardon. Yeah.
he can't sell out his NFL football franchise. He's like he can barely half fill his stadiums, yet he's building a new one for what? If you can't fit it, why are you building a new one?
Yeah.
And also another thing, Sky Sports put out when going away, but when Usmanov put that bid in, and Kroenke rejected it. Sky Sports put out a thing of all the franchises Stan Kroenke owns, and this is the season we just finished fifth, by the way, and we were the highest achieving sports franchise that season because we finished fifth. Because all these others had failed, basically. They were either sort of mid-table to relegation in their respective franchises, and of all their franchises, he's only ever sacked one manager. Or coach, whatever they called it over there. Gave him a new contract, it weren't working out. He obviously sacked him, but that's one person. Hey, what do?
But yeah, there's anything other that I can say. It's just want to add to things like Stan Kroenke is not a good businessman. He's very disliked by a lot of fans, a lot of people. He will, destroy the club. Not just that. Again, fans overreacting to how the season's gone. Don't worry, because I think good times are coming, because it will start off bad at the end of the storm. There's always a golden sky. It will start off bad, and trust me, we will start picking up soon. And once we pick up, we will just carry on going forward and forward and forward. We will not stop. And other news tonight, Celtic have been eliminated from the Champions League.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, expecting that. But they're not doing Europa League now.
They're in the Europa League now. There's a possibility we could play them in the group stage.
I'll take that.
I'd take that as well, considering that it'd be an easy 6 points, maybe. Easy 6 points to pick up. And or if we play them in the knockout phase, we'd probably beat them. Soon, there's apparently Saturday. Well, yeah, it's pretty much confirmed now that Saturday night kickoffs are coming to the Premier League by Sky Sports later on, and that's gonna cause a lot of disruption for fans, and that will cause ticket prices to go up, train prices as well to go up. It'll cause a lot of different things. I think that what it is like in general. I don't think that people like football, the Premier League and stuff like that care about the fans anymore. Whether it be board or whatever, no one cares about the fans anymore. It's all about making enough money as possible. And at the end of the day, it's not about the fans anymore. Like I'm sure on a Saturday evening, right, at 7:45, if fans want to go to a game, who are traveling from far, how are they going to get back? How are they going to get back?
Exactly.
Because like the last train from London Euston to, say for example for me, because I live in Birmingham, the last train is about 10 something. So if I was to come back from a game, I'd have to leave the game early in order to get home, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay for the full 90 minutes. So says a lot.
No, because it was going on that subject. There was a rumor last year. The Arsenal v Liverpool game at the Emirates was initially planned for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but they couldn't have any matches on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basic at the time because there was a possibility of that happening. Fans were like, "Are you having a laugh?" Because how do you Christmas Eve of all times as well? You're expecting fans from Liverpool to travel all the way down
to London,
to London, and then try and get back for the following morning to be with their kids. With the young kids, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Got to a point that the FA, Premier League, Sky Sports, BT, the clubs themselves, they don't care anymore.
They don't. Especially BT Sport. I'm not gonna lie. Like with the Champions League rights, with what they've done is that they've taken that away from anyone really watching Champions League football. Like example,
I think even this
Europa League football it should be free to air. Like it should be on channels that us people can watch it on, but we can't watch it.
Like it was before they actually brought the rights to it on their channel. It was free on ITV.
Yeah.
And then the following night it'll be on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
But hey.
Exactly. But
But he's got what was it? I'm gonna say now. But yeah, because there's obviously we all know there's rumours of them losing, BT losing because obviously their ratings have gone down since they've initially got the Champions League. But somehow they managed to keep hold of them.
They kept hold of them because of money.
They kept hold of them, and apparently the rumour is that the highlights that used to be shown on ITV on the Wednesday night after all the games have been played, BT are looking to scrap that.
BT have got it back.
The BT have got, obviously they've still got it, but I'm saying because ITV used to, even since BT have had it, ITV used to show highlights on a Wednesday night of all the games from both nights.
Yeah.
And apparently, when in this new deal, BT have basically tried, I don't know if it's confirmed either way, they tried to block that from happening anymore. So basically, all highlights and everything, the live event itself, and then the highlights afterwards is all on their channels to basically sort of an incentive to force people to buy into their channel, no matter what they're using, Virgin, BT, and all that, or Sky.
Because now there's another competitor in the game called 11 Sports, and they've bought Serie A, the Italian league. They've bought La Liga. So
Sky lost that.
Sky have lost that. So you don't know, like the next time the Champions League highlights, Champions League in general is available for TV rights for the Europa League, you don't know what's going to happen next. I think this is the thing now. This is where people don't care about fans. Like I said, companies as well, they don't care about fans because it's all about them making money. And at the end of the day, BT Sport, Sky Sports, they should care about the fans with when they what game they choose, what time they choose to put it on. Again, like with the Champions League, if some people can't make it, it's hard to find streams as well. I have to go through a lot of different streams just to find a thingy playing. But apparently, BT Sports said they'll make it more social mediable. So if a big game is on, example, if someone like Arsenal playing in the Europa League, for example, that they'll try and put that on YouTube or something live for the fans to see, or they'll put it on Facebook or somewhere that where the fans can tune in and watch the games. And this is where it's all going. This is where it's all going wrong in general, because not that many people would want to do that. They'd want to sit up in front of the TV and watch it and be comfortable.
Yeah, that's another thing. Because I was going to just thought that basically, with BT when they first got the Champions League, when it comes to the Europa League and Champions League final, respectively, they'd air out both events for free on the actual channels on TV. Whereas last season, it was just on YouTube. They sort of cut back. It was like a bit sort of middle finger. Basically, if you want to watch it, go on YouTube. Basically, it'll go down at the pub.
Yeah.
And as you said, that no one's going to do it because as you know, there is a delay. And if you've got your Twitter set up and your basic or whatever, or you've got a Sky Sports app, and it then comes through that this has happened, that sort of takes away the surprise element of what's coming.
Yeah. Apparently, right now, speaking of BT Sport, they've regained the rights to show the French League in the UK this season.
That much French League, anyway, to be honest.
If anything, if any league that I'd want to be on Sky Sports is the Bundesliga. I'm not going to lie. I would love the Bundesliga on Sky Sports because that is a league that I definitely would enjoy watching.
Yeah. That's the thing I don't get with Sky, because they have the rights. I think they've still got the rights to the Dutch league. That's hardly a pop and MLS, but they're hardly popular league. You'd think they'd want to, considering they've lost the Champions League rights two times on the trot now, they'd be going out their way to get the rights of the Bundesliga and keep hold of the Liga. But to lose Champions League rights, and then before that FA Cup rights, and now you've lost the La Liga, and all you've got is all you can offer is Premier League, EFL Cup, and Dutch League football, and obviously international breaks, international football.
Yeah.
And yet your prices are skyrocketing high.
Exactly.
Every few months.
Every few months is just skyrocketing higher. And people will get to a point where they don't want to pay the prices anymore, turn around and just find another way to watch it. And that's where that's where money is ruined football. That's where money is ruined football. Fair enough. The new TV rights deal with the Premier League, I'm very happy about. I'm not going to lie, with Sky Sports, I love the fact that Saturday night football, whenever they have the late evening games or the 5:30 kickoffs, I love watching them on Sky Sports. I'm not going to lie. I love watching them on Sky Sports. I feel like BT suits more daytime and Sky Sports is more evening time. It fits better. Yeah. And
Yeah. Do you want to end on a positive? And what are your views for coming on for the Chelsea game on Saturday? Do you think we could get a result there, or?
I think it depends what Emery picks and the mentality the players go into it. And again, it also depends on the fans as well. If they can, be very supportive, if us fans can stick together this season, if the players, are in the right mentality to go out, they'd be like, okay, we need to win this game. We need to win. Let's show that we can be title challengers. Let's show we can, compete. If we can do that, then I think we can go and win. I think we can win. If we can play like how we did in pre-season against Chelsea, I think we can go and win.
What would be your lineup then for Saturday?
Leno, Bellerin, Socrates, Mustafi, Lichtsteiner, Torreira, Ramsey, Guendouzi, Özil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette.
Yeah, I think that's going the same one. That same lineup. Who'd be your captain though? Because obviously you've checked not playing.
My captain would either be Aaron Ramsey or Lucas Torreira.
Okay. I'll probably lean towards Torreira probably, just because of that youth element.
Yeah.
And the energy he'll bring himself and how he plays. Yeah. Could actually boost our players in and around them to get their head out their asses, sort of the Wenger players.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we wrap up now. When can people find you as well on your YouTube channel and social media?
Well,
I'll put it on a link.
Yeah, my Twitter's there. For me, I don't really do YouTube videos because I don't think I'm good enough for them. So I just, I just don't do them anymore. Yeah, that's what you can find me on Twitter. That's pretty much it. Nothing else I'll give away other than my Twitter.
Okay, I'll put the link in the description in about 5 minutes for that. Yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll be the regular time of Monday at 8 o'clock, and I've got James on, Graham from Arsenal Fan TV, or AFTV, you want to call it now. And I believe if you're able, you'll be able to come on as well if you're able to.
I'll have to see.
If you're not busy.
Yeah.
If not.
Yeah. If anything, I'll try the best I can. If I can make it, I can. If not, I'll let you know beforehand.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, that's fine.
But as I said, we've got James on. He was meant to be on this week, but obviously because I had to delay to tonight, he couldn't make it. So he's agreed to come on next week. I've got Graham on.
Yeah.
AFTV.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be more positive result and more upbeat, and less overreaction from our fan base for once.
I pray.
For once. Anyway, we'll see you all later. And until then, get beyond the team.